And Isaac was unaware, because his hands were hairy like the hands of Esau, so that he blessed him. And he said, "Are you my son Esau?" And he said, "I am your son." And he said, "Bring it near to me, so that I will eat some of what you snared, my son, so that my soul might bless you." And he brought it near to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And Isaac his father said, "Come to me, and kiss me, my son." And he drew near, and he kissed him. And he smelled the fragrance and the odor of his garments, and blessed him, and he said, "Behold, the odor of my son is like the odor of a field which the Lord has blessed. May the Lord give and multiply to you from the dew of heaven and from the dew of earth. An abundance of wheat and oil may he multiply for you. May nations serve you, and the people bow down to you. Become a lord to your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. And may all of the blessings with which the Lord blessed me and blessed Abraham my father belong to you and to your seed forever. May the one who curses you be cursed, and the one who blesses you be blessed." And it came to pass, after Isaac ceased blessing his son Jacob, and after Jacob went out from Isaac his father, that he hid himself. And Esau his brother arrived from his hunting. And he also prepared food, and brought it to his father, and said to his father, "Let my father arise, and eat from what I have snared, so that your soul may bless me." And Isaac his father said to him, "Who are you?" And he said to him, "I am your firstborn, Esau, your son. I have done as you have commanded me." And Isaac was greatly astonished, and he said, "Who is this who hunted and snared game, and brought it to me? And I ate from all of it before you came, and I blessed him. And he and all his seed will be blessed forever." And it came to pass, when Esau heard the words of his father Isaac, that he cried out with a very loud and bitter voice, and said to his father, "Bless me also, O father." And he said to him, "Your brother came fraudulently and took your blessings." And he said, "Now I know why his name was called Jacob. Behold, he has defrauded me twice. He has taken my right of firstborn, and now he has taken my blessing." And he said, "Have you not retained a blessing for me, father?" And Isaac answered and said to Esau, "Behold, I have set him up as lord over you, and all his brothers I have given to him, so that he might be servants to him. And with abundance of wheat and wine and oil I have strengthened him. But for you, what shall I now establish, my son?" And Esau said to Isaac his father, "Is there only one blessing of yours, father? Bless me also, father." And Esau raised his voice and wept. And Isaac answered and said to him, "Behold, apart from the dew of the land shall be your dwelling, and apart from the dew of heaven from above. And by your sword you shall live, and you will serve your brother. And it will happen when you become great, and you will remove his yoke from your neck. And then you will surely sin completely unto death, and your seed will be rooted out from under heaven." And Esau kept threatening Jacob on account of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And he said in his heart, "Now let the days of mourning for my father grow near, and I will kill Jacob my brother." And the words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah in a dream. And Rebekah sent and called Jacob her younger son, and she said to him, "Behold, Esau your brother will take vengeance in order to kill you. So now, my son, obey me, and arise, and flee to Laban my brother, and to Haran, and dwell with him a few days until your brother's anger is turned away, and he abandons his anger with you, and forgets the full extent of what you did to him. And I will send and bring you from there." And Jacob said, "I am not afraid. If he desires to kill me, I shall kill him." And she said to him, "No, lest I be bereaved of both of my sons in one day." And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, "Behold, you know that my father is old, and he does not see because his eyes are dim. And if I leave him, it will be grievous in his sight, because I am leaving and going from you. And my father will be angry and curse me. I will not go. But when he sends me, only then will I go." And Rebekah said to Jacob, "I will go in, and I will speak to him, and he will send you." And Rebekah entered, and she said to Isaac, "I despise my life because of the two daughters of Heth, whom Esau took as wives for himself. And if Jacob takes a wife from among the daughters of the land, who are like these, why then shall I live? Because the daughters of Canaan are evil." And Isaac called Jacob, and he blessed him, and he admonished him, and he said to him, "Do not take for yourself a wife from any of the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go into Mesopotamia to the house of Bethuel your mother's father, and take a wife for yourself from there, from the daughters of Laban your mother's brother. And may God Almighty bless and increase and multiply you, and become a company of nations. And may he grant the blessings of my father Abraham to you and to your seed after you, so that you will inherit the land of your sojournings, and of all the land which the Lord gave to Abraham. Go, my son, in peace. And Isaac sent Jacob, and he went to Mesopotamia, to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob. And it came to pass after Jacob arose to travel to Mesopotamia, that the spirit of Rebekah grieved after her son, and she wept. And Isaac said to Rebekah, My sister, do not weep on account of Jacob my son, because in peace he will journey, and in peace he will return. God Most High will protect him from all evil, and he will be with him, because he will not forsake him all of his days. And I know that he will make his ways prosper everywhere until he returns to us in peace, and we will see him in peace. Do not fear on his account, my sister, because he is upright in his way, and he is a perfect man, and he is faithful, and he will not perish. Do not weep. And Isaac comforted Rebekah on account of Jacob her son, and he blessed him. And Jacob went forth from the well of the oath in order to travel to Haran in the first year of the 2nd week of the 44th Jubilee. And he arrived at Luz, which is in the mountains, Bethel, on the first day of the first month of this week. And he reached the place when it was evening, and he turned aside from the way towards the west of the public road on that night. And he slept there because the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place, and he placed it at his head beneath a tree. And he was traveling alone, and he slept. And he dreamed on that night, and behold, the staircase was set up upon the earth, and its head touched heaven. And behold, angels of the Lord were going up and down upon it. And behold, the Lord was standing upon it. And he spoke with Jacob, and he said, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land upon which you are sleeping I will give to you and to your seed after you, and your seed shall be like the sand of the earth, and you shall increase in the west, and the east, and north, and south. And all of the peoples of the nations will be blessed in you and in your seed. And behold, I shall be with you, and I shall protect you everywhere you go. And I shall bring you back into this land in peace, because I shall not forsake you until I do everything which I have said to you. And Jacob awoke from his sleep, and he said, Truly this place is the house of the Lord, and I did not know it. And he was afraid, and said, Dreadful is this place, which is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And rising early in the morning, Jacob took the stone which he had placed at his head, and he set it up as a pillar for a sign. And he poured out oil on top of it, and he named to that place Bethel. But formerly the name of that area was Luz. And Jacob vowed a vow to the Lord, saying, If the Lord will be with me and protect me in this way in which I am traveling, and if he will give me bread to eat and clothing to put on, and I return to the house of my father in peace, then the Lord will be my God, and this stone which I have set up as a pillar for a sign in this place shall be the house of the Lord, and everything which you have given me I will tithe to you, my God. And he traveled to the land of the east, to Laban, Rebekah's brother, and he was with him and served him for Rachel his daughter 1 week. And in the first year of the 3rd week he said to him, Give me my wife for whom I have served you 7 years. And Laban said to Jacob, I will give you your wife. And Laban prepared a banquet, and he took Leah his elder daughter, and he gave her to Jacob as a wife. And he gave to her Zilpah his handmaid, and as an attendant. But Jacob did not know it, because Jacob assumed that she was Rachel. And he entered into her, and behold, she was Leah. And Jacob was angry with Laban, and he said to him, Why have you treated me thus? Was it not for Rachel that I served you, and not for Leah? Why have you offended me? Take your daughter, and I will go, because you have done evil against me. For Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah, because the eyes of Leah were weak, but her appearance was very beautiful. And Rachel had good eyes and good appearance, and she was very beautiful. And Laban said to Jacob, It does not happen thus in our land, to give the younger woman before the elder. And it is not right to do this, because thus it is ordained and written in the heavenly tablets, that no one should give his younger daughter before the elder, because he should first give the elder, and after her the younger. And they will write it down as sin in heaven concerning the man who acts thus. And no one who does this thing will be righteous, because this deed is evil before the Lord. And you command the children of Israel, so that they will not do this thing. Let the younger woman be taken or given without the elder one being first given, because that is very evil." And Laban said to Jacob, "Let the 7 days of banquet for this woman continue, and then I will give you Rachel, so that you might serve me another 7 years, and pasture my sheep, just as you did in the previous week." And on the day when the 7 days of leave banquet passed, Laban gave Rachel to Jacob, so that he might serve him another 7 years. And so he gave to Rachel Bilhah, the sister of Zilpah, as an attendant. And he served 7 years more on account of Rachel, because Leah had been given to him as gratis. And the Lord opened the womb of Leah, and she conceived, and she bore a son to Jacob. And he called him Reuben, on the 14th of the 9th month, in the 1st year of the 3rd week. But the womb of Rachel was closed, because the Lord saw that Leah was hated, but Rachel was loved. And Jacob again went in to Leah, and she conceived, and she bore another son to Jacob. And she called him Simeon, on the 21st of the 10th month, and in the 3rd week of this year. And Jacob went again into Leah, and she conceived and bore a 3rd son to him, and he called him Levi, on the 1st day of the 1st month. In the 6th year of this week, again Jacob went into her, and she conceived, and she bore the 4th son to him, and he called him Judah, on the 15th of the 3rd month, in the 1st year of the 4th week. And in all of this Rachel was jealous of Leah, since she was not giving birth. And so she said to Jacob, "Give me sons." And Jacob had said, "I have withheld from you the fruit of your womb. Have I forsaken you?" And when Rachel saw that Leah had borne 4 sons to Jacob, Reuben and Simeon and Levi and Judah, she said to him, "Go into Bilhah my maid, and she will conceive and bear a son for me." And she gave Bilhah her maid to him, so that she might be his wife. And he went in to her, and she conceived, and she bore a son to him, and he called him Dan, on the 9th day of the 6th month, in the 6th year of the 3rd week. And Jacob went into Bilhah again a second time, and she conceived and bore another son to Jacob. And Rachel called him Naphtali on the 5th of the 7th month, in the 2nd year of the 4th week. And when Leah saw that she was sterile and was not bearing children, she took and also gave Zilpah her attendant to Jacob as a wife. And she conceived and bore a son to him, and Leah called him Gad, on the 12th of the 8th month, in the 3rd year of the 4th week. And he went into her again, and she conceived and bore another son to him, and Leah called him Asher, on the 2nd of the 11th month, in the 5th year of the 4th week. And Jacob went into Leah, and she conceived and bore a son, and she called him Issachar, on the 4th day of the 5th month, in the 4th year of the 4th week. And she gave him to a nurse. And Jacob went into her again, and she bore twins, a boy and a girl. And she called the boy Zebulun, and the girl's name was Dinah. In the 7th day of the 7th month, in the 6th year of the 4th week. And the Lord had mercy upon Rachel, and opened her womb. And she conceived and bore a son, and called him Joseph, on the 1st of the 4th month of the 6th year, that 4th week. And at the time when Joseph was born, Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wives and my children, and let me go to my father Isaac, and let me make a house for myself, because I have completed the years which I served for your 2 daughters. And I will travel to my father's house." And Laban said to Jacob, "Remain with me for your wages, and pasture my flock for me again, and accept your wages." And they agreed with one another that they would give him as his wages each of the lambs and kids which were born, and on which were black or spots or white, and it would be his wages. And all of the sheep bore spotted lambs, and ones which had variegated markings, and ones which had various shades of black. And the sheep bore again lambs which looked like themselves, and all of which had markings belonging to Jacob, and those which had no marking belonged to Laban. And the possessions of Jacob multiplied greatly, and he acquired oxen and sheep and asses and camels and the male and female servants. And Laban and his sons were jealous of Jacob. And Laban collected his sheep from him, and kept watch on him with evil intent. And it came to pass, after Rachel bore Joseph, that Laban went to shear his sheep, because they were the distance of a 3 days' journey from him. And Jacob saw that Laban was going to shear his sheep, and Jacob called Leah and Rachel, and spoke intimately with them, so that they might go with him to the land of Canaan. For he told them everything as he had seen it in the dream, and everything which he told him, that he would return to the house of his father. And they said, "We will go with you anywhere you go." And Jacob blessed the God of Isaac his father, and the God of Abraham his father's father. And he arose and loaded up his wives and children and took all of his possessions and crossed over the river and arrived at the land of Gilead.